Now in its 19th year of operation, the Legal Resources Foundation Trust continues to execute its main mandate of promoting access to justice through human rights education, research and policy advocacy initiatives for the poor, marginalized and vulnerable. The impact of LRF program to the society has been remarkable. We have managed to make major strides in many areas of legislative advocacy.
In a nutshell, we have three main programs that we are working on between now and 2013, when our strategic plan comes to an end. We have what we call the Administration of Justice program. The Administration of Justice program is aimed at enhancing the efficiency of the justice institutions. And we are focusing on the judiciary and penal reforms. The second program is on development, governance and development program, where we want to embrace people's participation in respect to the letter and spirit of the Constitution. Our aim is to enable people to participate in all processes of governance and development around them to attain the aims and the gains that they have been empowered with the Constitution and also legislative reforms. Our last program is the Haki Institute. That is basically our sustainability program, and it is also the program that replicates our niche, that is in paralegalism. And the Haki program focuses more on the national and also the regional perspectives.
In the Vetting of Judges and Magistrates Act No. 2 of 2011, we recommended that provisions be made for the public to file complaints directly with the vetting board, especially in serious cases.
We analyzed the Vetting of Judges and Magistrates Act, and specifically Section 18. What that Section 18 focused on, in the process of vetting procedures, it stated that any person who had any issue with a judge or magistrate who was being vetted could actually present those complaints. For us, the gap that we saw was that it was not very clear the how of doing that. And therefore, we recommended that a complaint should be filed and registered with any person or with the Judges and Magistrate Vetting Board specifically. In any form, it could be through a letter, it could be through SMSs and things like that. So for us, we wanted to be clear, for it to be clear that the avenue is open, but it can be done in any way, so long as it is a complaint that appears. So what happened is that Section 2 of that Act was amended, and it reflected a period where they stated within 14 days, and it could be a complaint given to any person, including the Judicial and Magistrate Vetting Board.
As part of our paralegal approach, 889 paralegals have been trained and registered in our national database.
And these are paralegals that we have trained, paralegals that have also been trained under the wider paralegal support network. And this is a resource that we are using in the community to empower people, to enable them access justice. We are also enabling them to come together and form networks, because networks are more sustainable, and we have networks all over the country in different counties.
We have managed to establish an engagement with national reforms on the Chapter 15 commissions.
In respect to now the focus, now and beyond, we want to engage particularly with the Chapter 15 commissions. And those are a few of them: the Judicial Service Commission, the National Police Service, Ethics and Anti-Corruption, and the Truth and Justice and Reconciliation Commission.
In judicial and penal reforms, we have achieved the following. Sentencing research and sentencing policy has generated informed discussions. This is TJRC and the judiciary.
Over time, we've realized, because we work with prisoners, we've realized that there's a lot of inconsistency in the way judgments are passed at the judiciary, where you have one main offense, different circumstances, but then you find that the kind of sentences that are meted are very inconsistent.
We have launched 3 paralegal desks in Kisii, Meru, and Embu court stations. We have trained 28 prison officers in human rights. Paralegals have been appointed as human rights officers in respective prisons. We have carried out capacity building for 30 prison officers on human rights and paralegalism in Embu County, 7 of whom were females while 23 were male officers. We have produced the first draft of the court user rules and regulations for considerations by the Chief Justice. The same are in high demand by court user committees countrywide. We are now piloting the same in Isiolo, Maralal, Naivasha, Embu and Makadara law courts. The Kenya Magistrates and Judges Associations has expressed interest in using them. We have designed and created a leadership and integrity scorecard. We also developed a vetting framework for police officers and vetting tools in partnership with IMLU and other civil society organizations. We have carried out capacity building for 25 police officers and criminal investigators in Nairobi City County. We have collected 28 memorandums from Embu, Nyeri, Eldoret, Langata Women, Thika, Machakos, and Kisumu prisons. These have been forwarded to the Judges and Magistrates Vetting Board. We have also increased awareness among public officers on constitutional and human rights principles, the police and judiciary. The Haki Training Institute has also been formed to create curriculum development, training and resource persons at the East African Human Rights Program.
We have registered an institute known as Haki Institute. This institute will be part of Legal Resources, but a business arm which will specialize in paralegal training, media production, research, production of materials in governance and administration of justice, human rights education, capacity development. And it is our hope that we will make an impact not just in Kenya, but also regionally in the East Africa community.
In terms of financial management, we at LRF seek to achieve the following: to be efficient and cost-effective in financial management, to build a pool of broad and reliable funding and technical partners, and to build and manage an effective sustainability plan.
As management, we try our level best to make sure that everything we get trickle down to the community. You may realize from 2009 up to 2011, we have maintained 65%. That means all the fund we received, 65% of that money normally go to the community. What is left is less than that 5%. And they also measures, I may also put it clear, measures are there that we maintain our 70%. That means all the money we are going to receive, 70% go to the community or our beneficiary. The donors who have committed is from Amnesty International, Diaconia, FOSI, Concern Worldwide. We have got the EU, that is European Union, USAID, KCDF, Trocra, giving us the total of 59 million.
Our successes have been phenomenal. We have seen a major improvement in donor compliance, reporting and adherence to the set rules and regulations. We have continued paralegal activities in the community with the county administration and building on the existing endowment fund to support the organization's sustainability plans.
This is the 15% we normally put there in direct cost. Some donors don't allow because of their policy, others allow. But also we are requesting that let's have that endowment fund, because also that one also is going to help us, especially now. There are those costs like decentralization we are talking about here. It may not be funded by any donor, but we know that we have the gaps there, we have the needs. So when we put the 15% here, we know that that money will go direct for those ones.
As part of our sustainability plan, we plan to establish the following: core strategic funding to long-term funding of at least 3 year cycle to build continuity, certainty and effective implementation. Establish the training center through the Haki Institute of Paralegal Training and provided unrestricted 15% administrative support for operational functions.
We may say that from 2007, 5% of the fund committed came from our sustainability. That is 1.2 million. 2008, 6%. 2009, 4%. 2010, 6%. And now, 2011, we are talking about 10% of all our budget is funded by our Haki Institute. Let me put it clearly. And now, 2012, we are trying to make sure that the 25% also come from our internal operations through training, consultancy, and the others.
Despite the numerous successes, we have encountered several challenges. No partner in funding the 2009 to 2013 strategic plan. We only have partners funding short-term projects for 1 year and less than 3 million Kenya shillings.
No partners is funding our strategic plan. However good it is, I know we have got this strategic plan. It is very good. No one is funding it. At the moment, it's 0%. And this is my appeal. Let's fund this. Any funding less than 3 million is also very expensive for us, especially to the organization. We have got a strategy whereby we are working also with the CBOs. So once you give us a funding less than 3 million, note that that money is going to be managed by a CBO, the one we are partnering with them. But also another thing is that we are only going to be in charge of the issues surrounding the reporting and also probably the monitoring. The other work will be done by the CBO.
We are currently experiencing a high level of staff turnover, mainly due to modest compensation benefits and low funding levels.
So this is also a concern that we are losing the staff we have grown with, we have nurtured for 10 years. It's not easy. And these are because of the same level of funding.
Yearly, the foundation hosts a stakeholders forum which aims to showcase its achievement as well as share learning and knowledge on specific and cumulative efforts.
The aim of the stakeholder roundtable is to showcase what we have been up to showcase what achievements, what successes and challenges that we've had in interacting with communities, interacting with the institutions of justice, interacting with the traditional justice mechanisms within the communities. And it is an open process where we showcase what we've done and we invite stakeholder input into our work.
Participants include development partners, government agencies, peer organizations, corporations, service providers, and beneficiaries.
It's essential for us to engage with them and to partner with LRF because we are essentially doing the same thing for Kenya. So right now we work with the paralegals on the ground in about maybe I think 2 different prisons, and they're able to refer cases to us, which clear lawyers can then go and represent. And also for us, we are now looking into working together in terms of training interns, where we have interns who are paralegals coming through CLEAR, and they're able to go into LRF and also have that experience. And also for the paralegals in LRF come to CLEAR and have an experience of working with lawyers and actually going into court.
TROCRA will be having an evaluation of its governance and human rights work, which will include LRF in August, September this year. So that will also tell us more. But from what I have seen, we're very happy with the work that LRF is doing. I think also what we could do, though, is perhaps strengthen the linkages and the learning that they can provide to other organizations that we're working with, even outside of the governance and human rights program. So, for example, through our livelihood security program, we work with many organizations in the arid areas that I think could benefit from some of the skills and experience that LRF have.